Alright, so today's topic is dynamic warm-ups. The goal of the dynamic warm-up is to warm up the muscles, get them ready to move, get them ready to exercise, lube up the joints, rather than static stretching. Static stretching kind of relax the muscles, get them to stretch out further, and then the minute you go and try and do something intense or exert yourself, you're more prone to tearing and injury. So that's why we do dynamic warm-ups. Here's a quick 5-minute warm-up that I usually do, starting off with some leg swings across the side of the front of your body, trying to loosen up your hips, and also getting a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Then I usually go front to back, keeping the front leg straight, torso nice and tall, kicking the heel up behind you. Kind of feel a great stretch in the hamstring, and then in the hip flexor as you kick your heel in the back. You'll notice towards the end of these front to back leg swings, I internally rotate my foot and then externally rotate it as I kick my heel to the back. Just kind of adds a different variation, adds a different little stretch in the hip socket, hip joint there. Just kind of shaking out there. Next, just kind of some simple torso twists. Just nice and light, coming up onto either toe as you turn into it. Sometimes I imagine swinging a golf club, but this just allows your body, to sort of rotate and get warm and just feel a nice stretch through your midsection to that torso, where you're going to need that midline stabilization in any movement you do. Just kind of stretching out the muscles across the middle of the body there. Next, kind of focus a little more on those hamstrings, get those nice and warm, just by keeping my legs straight, slowly walk my hands out. You can almost go into a downward dog after you get down there at the bottom if you want. And then I usually kick one leg up past my hands into into a mountain climber. Kind of stretches out the hip, and then you bring your other foot up into a squat. So there I'm stretching my hip, my left hip there, and then I bring my right foot up into a nice little squat. You can stretch out the groin, keep your hands on the ground, and then slowly roll up to stretch the hamstrings and the back. One vertebrae at a time as you roll up. So this dynamic warm-up I'm doing is just 5 minutes. It focuses sort of on the lower body, those hamstrings, his glutes, his hip flexors, the groin. Just kind of getting everything loose for the lower body. If you had a few more minutes, you can get the arms and shoulders going just by doing some bear hugs, arm circles. You'd pretty much be ready to go. In the future, I might show you some different variations. Here, just working on that squat, finding that natural step from side to side, that landing stance where you want to squat. You notice sometimes I step a little wide. That's just me needing to work on my landing stance and keeping the feet underneath my shoulders. Here I use my hands to sort of act as a counterbalance and help with my posture. Notice every now and then I'll throw my hands way up above my head. That helps me to force my shoulder blades back and just keep my torso nice and tall. Focusing on that posture, working into that depth here with each squat, getting warmer. Next, I'll kind of finish with just some reverse lunges, focusing on keeping the weight on my front heel on the ground, my front shin vertical, making sure to keep your torso nice and tall. You should feel a great stretch through your hip flexor of the leg that's going back. Lightly let your knee touch the ground, as you'll see as I kind of turn to the side here. So, heels on the ground, front shin vertical, back knee lightly touches the ground. Hold it for a good second or two. Makes it dynamic, gives you a good stretch to the hip flexor there. This helps with stride length for running, but just kind of gets that hip flexor, that hip area warm for that powerful hip extension you need in a lot of movements. So until next time, good luck.